Hey, what's going on? I'm not a YouTuber, as you can see by the quality of this video. I actually have a new laptop. My old one died. I no longer have a screen capture software or Audacity, so I'm just going to make this work. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because I've watched this whole drama situation unfold with Jaclyn Hill. This isn't the first drama that I've silently watched unfold. I've also watched the James Charles situation, the Toddy Westbrook situation, and the continued James Charles situation unfold. But this time I can't stay quiet. So I'm just going to quickly make this janky video because it's geared towards Jaclyn Hill fans specifically, because I don't want to preach to the choir. A lot of other drama channels, when they make their videos, it seems like they're preaching to the choir. A lot of people already know what's up with Jaclyn Hill. They already believe she's a liar. They probably already unsubscribe to her, or they stay subscribed just to see what other shenanigans unfolds, because everybody likes drama, even though people say they don't. Just to get this out of the way, I gotta say everything is alleged, yada yada yada, don't sue me, nobody pick on anybody, disclaimer, alleged. And also to get something else out of the way. Now, the screen that I have here is her newest Where I've Been video. And in it, she goes on to discuss, how people have been so mean to her. Welcome to the internet. Nobody with two brain cells to rub together condones people making fun of anyone or sending death threats or saying horrible things to them. And that's why you have a report button on your social media. So nobody condones that. And I hate that people do this. It really grinds my gears when people do this, when they focus on that 1% of ridiculousness versus the 99% of criticism to elicit sympathy. And that's what I feel like this is, a 19-minute and 2-second video of nothing but trying to elicit sympathy and manipulate an audience. So, with that said, let's move forward. Again, this video is geared towards her fans because I have a few questions, because I need edification. And I would also like to clear up some things or just issue some of my thoughts because there are some aspects to this drama that I think aren't getting enough attention. A few other drama channels have touched on it, but I feel like it needs a little bit more attention, and I would like to ask them to pay a little more attention to that because they're the ones that have better software and make better videos than I do. And that's the people who have been hurt in this whole Jaclyn Hill situation. Now, she released a lipstick line that failed miserably, and it deserved to fail miserably. But it doesn't begin and end there, because she claims that she issued refunds to everyone. And if that actually happened, then yes, this matter pretty much would be ended. But it's not. And to her fans, I ask this, because some of you believe that for whatever reason, no one was hurt. There have been a few people on the drama channels who are criticizing her, asking them to stop criticizing her because nobody got hurt. Everybody got a refund. One, I'd like to know why you think everyone got a refund. Because she said so? She said a lot of things that weren't true. So why do you think everyone got a refund? She's given no receipts, issued no proof that everyone has been issued a refund. In fact, there are people who claiming they haven't received a refund. So why do you think that? Because she said so? But more importantly, why do you think that nobody's been hurt? There have been a few people who have commented on other channels that I've seen that says no one was hurt. And that's clearly not true. There have been numerous photographs and there are numerous receipts on multiple drama channels of people who have had been scratched and have had blisters, as well as infections, allegedly from her lipsticks. Now, Pretty Pastel Please, I believe, is a well-known YouTuber, and she did a whole video unboxing showing that allegedly there are metal shards and sharp pieces of plastic that could catch on someone's lips and cause an infection because these lipsticks are contaminated. Which brings me to the definition of contamination. If there is an ingredient that wasn't in the recipe, that's a contaminant. Let's take, I don't know, a cake. you're a baker, and hair is accidentally added to the cake. That is a contaminant. Now, most contaminants are negative, but it's just like the word consequence. Consequences are a neutral word. A contaminant is a neutral word, but they mostly have negative connotations. Another example being the Powerpuff Girls. Now, if you're as old as I am, you remember the Powerpuff Girls, and I think it was some type of added chemical to the professor's batch that caused the Powerpuff Girls to be created. Now, that's a good consequence, but it's still a contaminant. So just because there's a contaminant in these lipsticks, there was something added to these lipsticks that seemed to be ineffective, such as fuzz from gloves, allegedly, which is clearly a lie, but let's go with that, then that's still a contaminant, and that's still problematic on multiple reasons, multiple levels, but I'm not going to go into that right now. But there is proof, or at least alleged proof out there, that people have been harmed by this. And those are the people I like to focus on, or the fans to focus on. More attention needs to be placed on those who have been hurt by this, and there's several of them. And the question I would like to ask Ms. Hill, or Ms. Hill's people, is what are you doing about it? What is she doing about it? Now, what really prompted this video to be made was a lot of people are asking, or actually rightfully criticizing her video, Where I've Been video, and with she's not taking accountability. Why can't she just take accountability and issue an apology? And there's a very good reason for that, and that's because she doesn't want to be sued. If she takes any type, that's why I believe the statement is very carefully worded, and it's basically 20 minutes of nothing. It's a lot of words, but nothing of real substance, because if she takes accountability of too much, then it can be used against her in a court of law. So that's why when she says, I'm sorry, she's not really saying I'm sorry for anything specific, because if you listen to what she says carefully, it's a lot of fluff, no substance. Now, when I say those two words, I'm sorry, they carry a lot of weight, but they're also part of our culture. For example, if somebody says, my mother just died, you would say, I'm sorry. Why? You didn't kill her. So why are you sorry? It's just what people say. But when you commit a foul act, when you wrong someone, you have to specifically say what you're sorry for. For example, the bank robber, he has to say, if someone robs a bank, and they're caught, they don't just get to say, I'm sorry, give the money back, and walk away. No, you have to take accountability for the wrong that you have committed. And when you're in a court of law and you're found guilty of a wrongdoing, you actually have to submit an apology, and you have to say specifically what you're apologizing for. And if you notice, she never does that. She just says, I'm sorry. For example, she's probably sorry that her launch failed. Well, I'm sure her customers are also sorry that her launch failed. They're also sorry that they paid money and received this pathetic line of lipstick. I'm sure many people are sorry, but that's not a real apology, because you're not saying what you're really sorry for. It's more of a blank statement for her fans or her critics to insert whatever makes them feel that she's sorry for. It's kind of like, I'm sorry blank is what she's saying, and then the fan would say, oh, she's apologizing for everything. See, she said she was sorry. Her critics would say, oh, she's just saying that she's sorry that her launch failed. So it's kind of a blank statement. But she's not taking any accountability, and she's not going to, because again, that could be used against her in a court of law. That's why she's not going to say, I'm sorry that my lipsticks were contaminated and it caused harm to anyone. I'm sorry that this was such a failure and that I did wrong. I lied to you. She's not going to say any of that, because it could be used against her. And that's also why I personally believe that it wasn't recalled, because that would be even more evidence that she is admitting to some type of wrongdoing. That's also why she was probably very quiet and deleted her social media. Somebody probably stepped in legal-wise and advised her, you are saying too much, and it needs to stop. So she's decided to take a mental break. Now, let's move on to her being a CEO, because that's not the activity a CEO, those aren't moves that a CEO would make. For example, Jeff Bezos wouldn't do something like that, but a CEO, what is a CEO? In this video, that really grinded my gears when she said this. She said, being a CEO isn't wearing, I don't even remember what she said, was something like wearing Gucci and, I don't know, going on alpaca rides or something like that. Nobody believes that's what a CEO does. I don't even believe Jaclyn Hill is a CEO. I believe she is a YEO, which is a YouTube executive officer, because she's a very good mouthpiece. And I believe that's what Jaclyn Hill is. She is a mouthpiece. She's very pretty. She's very manipulative. And she very charismatic, which is what a good mouthpiece is. They're all of those things. And I think she's a very good mouthpiece, but she shouldn't be in charge of anything. And I personally don't really believe she's in charge of anything. She just likes to say that she is. And I believe she can also continue to be a mouthpiece. And I think from now on, she needs a co-signer, someone with credibility to co-sign, such as Marlene Estelle, who has a reputation of putting out quality. So she can continue to do what she does, but she requires a co-signer. But again, going back to her being a YEO, because she works on social media, she's on the internet, she's the front person. And I believe she's a YouTube executive officer because she only regurgitates things. She just says things, even if they don't make sense, even if they're contradictory to her previous statements. Even if anybody who's actually been in the game for 5 years, as she claims she has, would think something through before saying it. But no, she just says it. And that's why I think there's someone else in the background who's kind of the mastermind behind this, because she'll just sit there and say whatever she needs to say in the moment. For example, wiping down the vats with towels. That is absolutely ludicrous. Anybody who's been in the game for supposedly as long as she has would know better than that. But no, she just sits there in front of the camera and regurgitates things as a mouthpiece would, and not really think that through. Now, if she was a real CEO, she would have been all over this a lot sooner. She would have handled this much better. But no, it's been a complete catastrophe. And again, because she's not personally, in my opinion, she's not a real CEO. She's a YEO, is more appropriate title for her. But moving on. So back to that word, credibility. Now, this young lady has zero credibility in my book, which makes me curious why people believe what she says, or her fans specifically. Why do you believe when she says something? I want you to ask yourself something. Any statement she makes, ask yourself, is this true? And the best way to try to remove yourself from the bias you may have for someone, if you're a fan, ask yourself, think of someone that you don't like. Think of, someone that really grinds your gears. And what if they did the exact same thing that she did and said the exact same thing that she's saying? Would you still continue to believe what you believe? Would you still make those same excuses for her behavior if it was someone else? Because I feel like too many people's biases and love for her are getting in the way of their ability to think this all the way through. Because people are very smart. Not everyone is a crazy person. But I feel like your fanaticism is getting in the way of your cognitive thinking. If someone I didn't like is doing the shenanigans that she's doing, or telling the lies that she's telling, would I continue to go to bat for them? Would I continue to think what I think? And the answer is clearly no. But I'm asking her fans specifically, because why do you believe what she says when she gets on the screen and tells you these things? Why do you think everyone got a full refund? Because she said so? She said a lot of things. She also said they're 100% safe, which is also why I think legal experts stepped in and told her to delete it. And she claimed that it was a mental break. Now, she got a lot of flack for that. And I think she rightfully got a lot of flack for that. And a lot of her fans went to bat for her. But here's the thing. Again, she's been the mouthpiece. No one from her lab stepped forward. She's always been the one in front of the camera regurgitating the information to her fans. Now, if she was going to take a mental break, why didn't she just pass the torch to someone else? She never introduced her fans or anyone else to another person to answer those questions. She never said, I'm going to take a break from my personal account, but you can still issue questions and XYZ to this business account, to this business Instagram, this business Twitter, this business YouTube account, or this business website. She never got on camera and said that. And I always found that fascinating, because if you are a supposed CEO, why wouldn't you say, I'm leaving, but here's the soundboard, or here's the backboard that you can bounce things off of. It's this person, here's the point of contact. And she never did that. And that's what a responsible person would do. Instead, she told multiple lies and had what I feel is browbeaten into issuing the second non-apology. And the reason I think she's issuing this is to move forward. Now that she's claimed that she's apologized for this previous failed launch, she wants to move forward with a new project. And again, I do not believe she should be allowed to do this unless she has a very credible co-signer. She can continue to be the mouthpiece, but she should never be in a position of CEO again. And that's just my personal opinion. But I want to know from her fans, why do you believe what you believe? And that is, why do you believe everyone got a full refund? Why do you believe no one was hurt? And why do you believe this woman has any credibility whatsoever? And to answer those questions of why she's not taking accountability and why there was no recall, and again, in my personal opinion, it's because she does not want to take legal accountability. Now, if you hurt someone, which she has, this product line has hurt people allegedly, why, as a fan, why would you not want her to take legal accountability for those people that she's harmed? That is one of my main questions that I have for fans. I know why because money, but I want to know why her fans are allowing this. Would you allow her to just try to sweep this under the rug and never take legal accountability? She can go ahead and say, I'm sorry till the cows come home, but she's not going to say, and I don't believe she's ever going to say why specifically she's sorry. I don't believe she's going to issue an apology specifically to the people that have been hurt by her product line. And I don't think this product line is going to be recalled unless it is legally required by the FDA, the CDC. Speaking of which, where are they? Unless she's legally required to do so, I don't think she's ever going to take legal accountability. And that's why there has been no recall, and that's why she's being extremely vague. And that's also probably why she stepped away from her social media, thinking that this could blow over, and then one day she'll step back into the limelight and start the process all over again. So that's just my 2 cents. Personally, I would like some of the more sophisticated drama channels to ask those same questions, because they're clearly going to have a larger audience. But that's just something I'd like to get off my chest. Maybe one day I'll redo this video and maybe make more, depending on how what the comments are on this one, and tell me how terrible I am at this whole YouTube game. But I just really wanted to get that off my chest. So go ahead and comment down below, and God dang this woman. Can't wait till the next drama.